Can I get you something to drink? You
Uh,
want a beer?
no, if you have a water.
You want a
that'd be
coffee?
nice. No.
You want a Pepsi Cola?
No.
Water?
Water would be
Okay, I'll
great.
get you water. Put out some of your fandom to try to make you comfortable here.
Perfect.
I had to
that's
search
the
for some.
Rebel Alliance there.
Yeah, and
I
I've
like
got an ancient beast that's from your
Oh, yeah.
lore. I don't know. I think that's Mandalorian.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It is.
It's a-
From my lore.
Okay.
Wars rather than Trek.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I definitely know Star Wars, and I know people like Star Wars, so I tend to make more Star Wars stuff than Star Trek stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know a lot more about Star Wars than I do about Star Trek.
That is true.
Definitely true.
That is definitely true. Yeah.
I know who Captain Kirk is.
Oh, good. Well, that's good.
Picard.
Yes. You're
And
doing
that's
fine.
That's about it.
That's fine. Those are the ones that matter. That's
Guess so.
that's ones people care about.
I guess so.
Pike's pretty cool, though. If you start watching the new one. Strange New
okay.
Worlds, he's got the hair that goes straight up.
Yeah. No idea.
It's a brand new series.
No
It's
idea
on
what that is.
Paramount. It's
Wasn't Pike the name of the guy in the movies?
So Pike.
Which I know the movies aren't really
So the very
embraced by a lot of
first, the very first episode of Star Trek, the pilot that Roddenberry used to sell the series, his captain was Pike.
Okay.
And then when they actually produced the series, the captain was Kirk. So since they had already produced the pilot, they ended up using that because it was the 1960s and they didn't throw anything away.
Right.
They ended up using that as an episode.
So it's like a one-off, one and done.
There's a one and done,
There's
exactly.
No more Pike after that.
Yeah, so then they brought
Now
him
they brought
back
him
for
back.
this new one.
Okay.
So, and he's pretty cool.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
I've
it's
learned
fun.
some cultural
There you go.
history.
It's completely useless to you. You reached out to me because our friend Jeremy had me print him a print of a trek that he went on that you guys ended up going on together
Yes.
in Yosemite, and I don't know when that was.
That was last summer.
Last summer. Okay, so he sent me a GPX file, which is something you get when you go on a hike, I guess. It's some...
Yeah, if you have like an app that tracks your hike, then,
Okay.
then that's the data from that tracking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he sent me that file. I downloaded it with an app that he told me about called TrailPrint, and it generated a 3D map of that we could then
Right.
print on the printer. And then I shared that on Facebook, and you saw it.
Yes.
And you were like, I want one of those.
I was on that hike. I want one of those.
And so we printed off another one for you. You have some GPX files from some other ones.
Yes.
Some other ones that you did. One of them being Half Dome. And the file that you sent
I
me
haven't
was
seen it yet.
Half Dome
that is-
2017.
That is awesome.
Doesn't that look freaking cool?
That is. I thought Half Dome would look cool because it's such a cool-looking mountain. That is amazing.
Isn't that amazing? Like, I've never been to Yosemite. I've lived in California my whole life.
Which
I
we
was
still
born
need
here.
to plan that, by the way.
I
Take
do.
you
We
guys
need
there.
to get there. So I have a real problem with walking on dirt and taking my own
Life in your hands.
exports with me down the mountain, like not being able to flush them.
Understood.
Yeah.
yes.
So those are my two main problems.
Okay.
Like I would love to see it.
Well, there's a lot of hiking to be done in Yosemite where you don't have to. I mean, some of you have to
Pack
walk in
it
the
out?
dirt, but you don't have to pack it out. They have.
Okay.
I mean, they're not like nice facilities.
Yeah.
Some of them, but you don't have to bring it with you.
Okay. Good.
This is amazing.
But doesn't that look amazing?
That is super cool.
Yeah, so that's 4-color prints, and I fired it off. And it looks like a Catan
Yes.
board game piece to me.
Totally.
Which is just amazing, because that's real data from the U.S. Geological
Right.
Center, I guess.
Survey.
Okay, so it's pulled out.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And it's cool that like that's the actual path that I.
Yeah,
took.
so is one up and one down?
Yeah,
Did
so
you
I-
make a stop somewhere?
So this was 2017, the first time I did Half Dome. I just
Okay.
did it by myself in one day. It was a long day. It was 12 hours. I think I left at 4 in the morning.
You were by yourself?
I was by myself. I mean, there's other strangers on the trail.
Okay, but nobody
I was,
knew. Like, if you'd fallen down, somebody would have been like, "Hey, we should probably help that guy."
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Well, I would have hoped they would do that because I was by myself.
Wow.
And I didn't have so you need a permit to
Yeah.
go up the cables. I didn't have one.
Oh.
So I had tried. You can get one in like a lottery early in the season, which I missed out on.
Yeah.
And then you can get one they had like a last minute kind of lottery.
Yeah.
And so I had made a camping reservation. I had the days off for work, and I tried to get the lottery, and I didn't. But I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go, and I'll ask along the way. Hey, do you have a spare permit? And,
Yeah.
Because groups change. And so I did that all along the way. Right about here is where they check.
Okay.
There's actually a ranger there.
Yeah.
And you've got to be with a group that has the permit for that number of people.
Yeah.
So I'd asked all along the way. Nobody had one. And then I got to that point. There was a group of, I think, 4, like 2 couples about my age. So I said, hey, you guys have a permit by any chance? An extra one? They're like, nah, no, sorry. And then they went, oh, wait a minute. There were supposed to be 6 of us. There's only 4. Yeah, come on.
Oh my gosh.
So literally, like at the point where they check,
wow.
They let me tag along with them. So I got to go up the cables and all that.
So what would have happened if you hadn't had the cable?
The ranger would have said, yeah, bye.
Okay, so you would have gotten the view up to that point.
I would have gotten a view up to that point. I mean, it's still a day walking in Yosemite, so
right.
Time well spent. But
Right.
I wouldn't have been able to go up past a certain point and get like to the cables and do all that.
What does that mean, the cables?
So about right here, where that red line is,
Okay.
you get to there, and then it's very steep.
Yeah.
So there's literally 2 metal cables on poles that are they're not even drilled into the rock. There's holes in the rock, and the poles just sit in those post holes.
What?
All the way up. I think it's like 400 feet up the last 400 feet up to the top.
Yeah.
And then they run a cable to the top of those poles, and like every couple of poles there's like a wooden plank.
Okay.
So you can kind of climb up the cables.
Okay. And they just want to get your money because that's probably the last time they're going to see you?
Possibly, yeah. People do it without the cables, but they do. The cables are up there all year round, but I think between like October they take them down, so they're just laying on the rock right there. But people go, but usually they're like actual climbers with harnesses and gear, or just really good shoes maybe. I don't know. I'm not brave enough to try that. So yeah, the cables are, it's intimidating.
Yeah.
Because you think like, oh yeah, I can do that, no problem. And then you get there and you see it and you're like,
no, I can't.
yeah, what? Why am I here? But it's very cool. I've done it 3 times.
Okay.
Now. So
I've gone to Half Dome 3 times?
Mm-hmm, this was my first time.
Okay.
So that's why I wanted to do this one, because it's the first.
Yeah.
And kind of kicked off my hiking bug.
Okay.
I got a wild hair to do this before I turned 40. I turned 40 in November of 2017. I did this in September.
Yeah.
I don't know really why. I'm like, I should do something cool before I turn 40.
Yeah, why not?
So, and I kind of got bit by the hiking bug.
And that's something pretty cool. Yeah, I really like, because again, it's so recognizable.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a mountain that everybody recognizes, especially if you're a Californian, you know. And I really like, because when I rendered this, it rendered all of the gray as a dark green. And we were like, that's no good.
It's rock.
Have you been to California? There's not that much green. Exactly. And I don't know if Yosemite's different, but I'm guessing it's still...
I mean, there's a lot of trees, so it's pretty green. But like, obviously, the gray part
It's all granite,
It's
right?
all granite, yeah.
Okay. So we changed it to a gray when we sliced it in bamboo.
Yeah, that looks perfect.
And I think it came out really cool.
It did.
And there's something about the filament, the way that it lays down the filament lines, it almost looks like the...
like the map.
Yeah, it looks like the map.
Topo map.
Exactly, how it's got the layers on it. Like, it's so weird. Like, the imperfections of the filament almost make this look more correct.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And this, how high is it from the top of that down to the valley?
So it's about 5,000 feet of elevation.
Okay, so that is quite a view from there.
One day, yeah.
And there's places up there to get a picture and walk around.
The top is huge. Like you look at it and you think like you're going to be on this like narrow.
Yeah.
It's humongous.
Wow.
I mean, it's a huge mountain.
Yeah.
So it's there's plenty of room to walk around. And I actually like crawled up to the actual face of Half Dome and like stuck my head over.
Really?
Like crawled. So I didn't want to fall off.
Yeah, no doubt. You don't want to be a statistic.
Steep drop.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was awesome.
That is super cool.
So thank you for doing this.
Oh, absolutely. That's
so
super
cool.
fun. It was super fun to watch it. And this one took 16 hours and I think 40 minutes, and it was 130 filament changes. That's with the Bamboo Labs that has the one filament on the outside. So it only had to change 3 colors. It only had to change the green, the blue, and the red.
Gotcha.
And I love how like the blue, you can actually still see some of the lakes and waters down there.
Yeah, like this is it's a waterfall right there. There's a waterfall up here.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's super cool. And so after that, you were like, I would like to see Whitney.
Yes, Mount Whitney.
Okay, now I don't know anything about Mount Whitney, but I thought it was going to look like Mount Rainier or something, like a single solo mountain jutting up. Yeah. And this to me,
it's not like that.
It looks like a head of romaine lettuce.
Yeah,
is that what it's supposed to look like?
Yeah, I mean Whitney is. Oh, that is so cool.
Isn't that bizarre?
Oh, that one has
a ton of
so
water
many lakes. There. Yeah, that is so cool.
And is that accurate? I mean, can you remember seeing all that?
Oh yeah, So Whitney, it's like Mount Rainier or like Shasta.
Yeah,
they're like kind of off by themselves.
Right, it's like a solo mountain, like you see.
So that's more like the Cascade Range. So when you get to like Northern California, Shasta, Lassen, and then as you go up to Oregon, Washington, Mount Hood, and Rainier, they're like, because they're all volcanoes.
Yeah.
So they're like just singular mountains kind of by themselves.
Okay.
Like that. And then the Whitney's in the Sierra, which I guess, I'm not a geologist, but, like tectonic plates came together and just kind of shoved everything up.
Oh, so Whitney's part of the Sierra...
Nevada.
The Sierra Nevada. Yep. Oh, so it's part of that whole range.
Yep.
And it just happens to be the tallest peak.
The tallest peak in the lower 48.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And Denali is the tallest in the...
Yeah, that's over 20,000, I think.
Oh, wow.
And Whitney's 14.
Okay.
It's like 14,508 or something like that.
Okay, so you did Half Dome in a day. Is Whitney a one-day hike?
People do it in a day.
Yeah.
I did not. Okay. I didn't want to die.
Yeah.
Because it's about... from the trailhead to the top, about 20 miles, I think. Whoa. 20, 21, something like that.
Yeah.
So people do it in a day. And then, besides the distance, and obviously the elevation gain, which I'm trying to remember is a lot. I can't remember off the top of my head. But because the elevation, then you have, like, the oxygen is a lot less.
Yeah.
And so people get, like, really bad headaches, or they get altitude sickness. Whoa. It makes your fingers swell up, and, like, you can actually, like, if you're not careful, it can, like, kill you. Like they say, if you're having, the symptoms are, which are like those things, headaches and just lethargic and shortness of breath and swelling. If you're getting that really bad, you need to like get to lower elevation like now.
Wow.
So we did it over the course. This one I didn't go alone. We did it over the course of, I think 2 nights on the way up and then one on the way down to kind of go gradually acclimatize to the higher elevation. Even still, like we didn't get altitude sickness or anything, but the last mile and a half or so when you're right here on this ridge. Yeah, when
you're like walking along the ridge there.
Yeah, which is super cool because this is basically the divide of the Sierra between the east and the west. So you can, from that point, what do they call that? I should remember. Crest, or I can't remember. Anyway.
Yeah, if you remember, let us know.
I will.
Yeah.
But you can see all the way to the west and all the way to the east from that ridgeline right there.
Okay, so can you see Nevada from that point?
Probably.
Yeah.
We probably can.
Yeah. Like we know what Nevada looks like. Yeah.
But I'm going to say yes.
Yes.
Definitely see Nevada. But that last mile and a half or so, I would have to stop like every 5 minutes, just like... Because
it was so high.
Because it was, the oxygen's so thin. Which makes me think people who do Everest, which is like 20, I don't know, 7,000 feet is insane.
I mean, that just looks crazy because it's like you're going up this crag, like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like Frodo's, ascent to Mount Doom almost.
And you get up above tree line, and it's just rocks.
Okay, so that's where the green disappears. That's the tree line. So that's where at some point trees stop growing.
Yep.
Like 1,000 feet or 2,000 feet?
No, it's like probably 10,000 feet.
Is it different per mountain where the tree line is, or is it generally like the same?
It's probably pretty close to the same, I would guess.
Okay.
Like at least in the same mountain range, but I would say around 10,000 is where it starts to really thin out.
So how does that feel when you come out of the foresty areas? Is that like, feel like it opens up, or is it?
Well, so for us, the day we did it, that stretch of we did that day, it was like not great weather. So it was really overcast and foggy, which was probably good because without the trees, you're very exposed.
Right.
So if there was clear skies, you'd have the sun beating down on you.
Right.
Which even though you're at a high elevation, it's cool or temperatures, but the sun's like more intense. Yeah. So it probably would have wore you out a lot faster. So we kind of got lucky. It did. We got to our camp that night, and it was like, actually, we're like, is it snowing? We did not anticipate that. But and then we were wondering about the next day when we were supposed to summit. We're like, it could be kind of miserable up there.
Yeah.
It actually ended up being like the perfect day.
Really?
We got to the top. It was maybe 50-ish degrees, barely any wind, like clear sky, some clouds, but we were above a lot of them.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And I had cell phone service, so I could call my wife and say,
"Are you serious?
I'm on the top of Mount Whitney."
You get cell phone service from the top of Mount Whitney?
Like full bars. It was amazing.
I mean, like, this looks majestic to me. Like, that's...
Yes.
Maybe it's just because it's been in so many movies and television shows and
well,
pictures.
It just stands out.
You know, and then so that looks dangerous. Like, don't come here. No one wants you to come here.
Which is why I didn't do this in a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for doing these.
Of course, it was super fun.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and anyone out there who has a GPX file and wants to do this, I will put a link down in the description for the how-to that my friend Jeremy sent me for this. It's really not complicated. You just need to download a free version of Blender. You need your GPX file. I think we had to like go to GPX Studio to fix it a couple times. Like, it wasn't a big deal. It renders, and once it all renders and downloads, you can just download an object and you can import that directly into Bamboo and print it. And all you need after that is a mess of filament and 20 hours of your time. I would also like to have you check out Andy's Instagram. Andy has a fantastic Instagram. He's got amazing pictures of national parks, a lot of Yosemite. I know it's not just Yosemite, but I really like seeing the Yosemite updates in all different weather.
The last one I posted is another mountain. It's called Temple Crag, and that one would probably be kind of cool too because it has a lake as a print. Yeah, there's a lake right at the base, and it's a very distinct looking mountain. It looks like a temple. And it's named Temple Crag. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for coming over and
thanks for having me.
You know, giving me something that was exciting to do. It was really fun to make.
Yeah, I'm glad it was interesting for you and not just, hey Peter, make me this thing.
No, super fun. I really liked it.
Good.
And how do people find you?
So my Instagram it's Andos Photos. So it's ANDOS FAUXTOS. So like faux, like fake.
Yeah.
Photos.
Oh, nice. If you're into national parks, if you're into just great photography, I'd recommend it. And I will put a link to that in the description. I'm also going to put a link for all of the trail print 3D videos. I think the only thing that I would have liked more is if our friend Jeremy could have been here with us.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Today.
He's coming out in September. We're doing another trip with our boys.
Oh, nice. So you guys going back to Yosemite?
Maybe. We don't know yet. We have there's like a lottery system for some of the trails, so we have a permit for. You have to get permits for a lot of these hikes. Yeah. In the Sierra, like 6 months ahead of time. Yeah. So we have a permit for another Eastern Sierra hike, which we haven't done before, and then some in the Yosemite area. So we'll see what kind of shakes out.
Nice. Well, if it's a good hike, send me the files.
Yeah, I will.
Awesome. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Hey, just wanted to give a quick shout out that we do have some new merch that just came down the pipe. This design, as well as the one that was featured in the video, and there are a handful of others, so go ahead and check that out. There'll be a link on the end screen for that.
And cut!